Today, I'm going to discuss why I think that Kraka Drak dwarves for Thrones of Decay. What here? Okay, this is a speculation video. I believe that the Kraka Drak dwarves will be the legendary lord. They will be the new legendary faction for the dwarves in the Thrones of Decay DLC. Now, let me give some speculation as to why. Now, first of all, obviously, Thrones of Decay is not coming out this year. No, it will not. There is no way in hell it's coming out. It's impossible. We're looking at a January, February release at this point. So, in terms of release date, I have no idea. But I am 99% certain that the Kraka Drak dwarves are going to be the ones to get their legendary. They're going to be the next faction. And here's why. So, first of all, in terms of the legendary location, the locations for the main dwarf factions, you have Karasa Karak, Karak Kudrin, you got Belagar in the Vaults, you've got, I forgot his name down here, and then you got the White Dwarf over here, Grumbindle, I think. Yeah, Grumbindle and Nagra. The other three, basically the old world, and then you have one down here in next to the desert. So, in terms of where you would place the next one, you have a couple options, I think. Your first option would be in Lustria, the Spina Stotek dwarves, but technically, man, I'm really blanking on his name here, but in Warhammer 2, the Vortex campaign, they already had a legendary lord start in Lustria, so I don't think they're going to do that. The second option is you could put him in the Mountains of Morn somewhere, the Ivory Road, next to Cathay, next to the Chaos Dwarves in here. Now, I think that's a terrible idea, because there's only one good spot to put in. I think it's the Mountains of Morn, because there is a dwarf faction already there, but it is surrounded by Chaos Dwarves, Greenskins, and Ogres. It's just, I don't think it'd work. But Kraka Drak dwarves, well, let's think about this. They start with 4 settlements. Now, what if instead they started with 1 settlement with their starting armory right here, and they have to fight some random Norskin faction to get their starting province? So it already has the layout for their start. They have their starting army here. They take Sigil Kraken. They spend 2 turns to get Lair of the Troll King, and then they have their starting province. As for the Winter Prior, you could probably give it. I don't know. Maybe they could hold on to that still. Maybe you give it to this Norskin faction. I'm not sure. But the point is, they have the layout for it. Now then, second of all, Kraka Drak is a very important dwarf settlement in the lore. In the lore, it is the farthest north Kraka Drak, correct? Like they have a lot of settlements named Kraka. I don't know why, but this is the most northern one. It has a landmark building, the Silver Hall. It's in a unique location that no other dwarf faction is near. Like, the nearest one's Kraka Drak, he's all the way down here. This is in Norska, basically. You're like 1 step away from Norska and a Kraken Sea away from the Chaos Waste. So what if you had your starting army here, take your starting province, and then you could have a couple options. You could go west to fight Throg, who would probably be your starting enemy, or maybe you would go fight the Unclean and help it. Jump right in there and take it. There's a lot of options there. But who would be the legendary lord for it? Well, I think I may have figured that. Well, that one's a bit easier to figure out if they do choose Kraka Drak. So here we have the Warhammer Wiki, the Kraka Drak Warhammer Wiki, where it gives us more detail about how this is the capital of the Norskin dwarves of Norska. Yeah, these aren't regular dwarves; these are Norskin dwarves. I'll bring that up later. before the war against Chaos, they were the largest and wealthiest Norse dwarf holds. They had a lot of stuff in it, and they were actually the lord here is they raided by Ikigo, but that's not important. What's important is who is their legendary lord. Well, according to this, we have 3 Drak dwarf leaders. Seriously, before we had Silverbeard, but he died. We have Thorgron Grumson, who is, if you look at the name of the leader of the faction leader of the Kraka Drak dwarves, it is Thorgard Crumson. So we already have his name here, and then Sifna Throthorn. I can't pronounce that. Now they could do either of these, like they could do either. Honestly, they could do Thorgard or they could do Sifna, but I still think that would get the end result. Now in the lore, I think they died. I'm not sure, but that's not important. So the thing is, though, we have good lore here with a legendary character. We have 2 potential legendary characters. We have good lore as to why it is important, and most importantly of all, they have unique faction mechanics. Rumble. Which brings us to the final piece of evidence of why I think it would be the ideal choice. There's a great mod on Steam Workshop for the Kraka Drak dwarves that gives them a whole bunch of units, goes in depth into their details and all that, gives them other objectives, and let me just break it down. I consider this a little bit of a mod review. It's a cool mod, you should check it out. So first of all, they get a custom model for Thorgard Grumson. This is what he looks like in the lore. And it looks pretty cool. It gives him his own skill tree, and the best part, it gives them new units and new landmarks. So first of all, yes, this landmark's still here. But then you have new ones here. You have the Great Quarries. You have the Ugoval Channel. Oh my god, that's a lot. That's basically, it's like a garrison building. That's basically what it is, but with more bonuses. And then you get more units. So if we go to the building browser, yes, we still have a lot of the basic units. We do have the dwarf warriors, like the basic dwarf infantry, right? We still got longbeards, great weapons, longbeards, quarrelers, bolt throwers, grudge throwers, all that. But then we get some new infantry. So first we have the Ogre's Blades. These are basically, I don't know what they are, to be honest. I don't know much of the lore, but the Kraka Drak dwarves, yes, they do have some basic dwarf units as well, but they have some more unique ones in the lore. They have these ones, they have dual axe infantry, they have these are basically like these are the Norskin dwarves basically, and then in fact you can actually recruit like marauders and marauder horsemen and marauder spearmen. They're just given a different name, which is cool. You're given path explosive infantry. You're given more unique infantry. It's cool. It really is. You still got slayers. You got completely new, like there's a lot new things here, and there's even a couple new buildings. You got the military support, the rune engineering workshop. This goes up to tier 4 now, which is also new. And then you got the Stone Wars, which is basically making everything immune to corruption, reduces corruption, and you could even unlock runesmiths when you give it the control higher amount. I don't know why this one's at 70 and this one's at 30. I guess it's because you upgrade it. And essentially, the whole point of this campaign is to go conquer Norska. Yeah, reclamation, more unique buildings. It really is. It's a great idea. And honestly, this could be the fucking blueprint for what CA uses to make the Kraka Drak dwarves. Because they are not like normal dwarves. They're kind of like, I think a good comparison would be like, let me think. A good comparison would be like, kind of like Skarsnik. Skarsnik with the greenskins, he plays completely differently to the other greenskins. I think that's what they should do with Thorgard Crumson and the Kraka Drak dwarves. Now, will they do this? I have no idea. I could be 100% wrong. Maybe they choose some other dwarf faction. I don't know much about the Warhammer lore beyond the game. But Honestly, I think the Kraka Drak dwarves are perfect. They have the perfect starting. They have a starting area that they start with four. You reduce it to one, make them take back their starting province. They have surrounding enemies. They are in a unique spot that no other dwarf faction is in. They have actually very good and they have interesting lore and more unique features to make them different from the other dwarves. They do have legendary characters in them, and honestly, I just want a good dwarf campaign. Seriously, the dwarves need. I just hope the dwarf we work along with it's also good. But the Kraka Drak dwarves, if it is like this, it doesn't. I don't think it should be exactly like this because there's still a couple problems. But there is. I think they are the most likely choice, and I've said my piece. So I hope I'm right. I really am because I think they're the most interesting. But you never know. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.